government since the Arab Spring of 2011, expanding through military conquests and seizing the capital Sana'a from the internationally recognised government in a September 2014 military coup. Since then, the Houthis have overrun Yemen's Red Sea ports and tried to seize the port city of Aden and the energy hub of Marib. With sustained military support from Iran, they remain postured to lunge forward at any time to snuff out the last strongholds of the internationally recognised government of Yemen. The Houthis are a clan-based military junta whose leaders have, since the 1980s, modelled their movement on Lebanese Hezbollah. Their ideology is supremacist, in favour of their own genealogical caste over all other Yemenis. And in their motto, they curse all Jewish people and openly pledge to seek the destruction of Israel and the United States of America. Madam President, the Houthis are aggressive and expansionist, presenting a multifaceted threat that I will briefly summarise today. Far from being an isolated, localised movement, they now draw military, intelligence and financial support from global partners that include Iran, Hezbollah, Iran-backed militias in Iraq, the Al-Qaeda and Al-Shabaab terrorist organisations, and reportedly also the Russian Federation. The first dimension of threat posed by the Houthis manifests inside Yemen itself. Their movement is documented by the UN panel of experts and other authorities and non-governmental organisations to have committed gross human rights abuses against the populations under their control, indoctrinating child soldiers, unlawfully detaining and torturing opponents, and diverting vital humanitarian assistance. They have kidnapped and still detain United Nations personnel, civil society workers, foreign seafarers, and staff of diplomatic missions. Since the 2018 Stockholm Agreement, the Houthis have consistently violated the UN arms embargo with Iranian assistance and used drone attacks to prevent the internationally recognised government of Yemen from exporting existing oil and gas production that would place desperately needed funds in the government's hands. This brings me to the second dimension of the Houthi threat, the danger that they pose to regional states in the Middle East and Africa. In 2015 to 2021, the Houthis fired over 430 missiles and more than 850 drones against Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. Key components of these missile and drone systems were found by the UN panel of experts and by other authorities to have been sent to Yemen through the UN arms embargo via Iranian government smuggling networks. The Houthis continued to threaten such attacks in order to force concessions and shape the peace process to their advantage. Most recently on July 7th, 2024, when they publicly threatened to attack Saudi Arabia's ports, airports and its central bank. Following Hamas's brutal terrorist attacks on Israel on October 7th, 2023, the Houthis also intentionally drew Yemen into the Gaza conflict by firing around 200 missiles and 170 drones at Israel. By attacking Israel, the Houthis deliberately risked bringing retaliation onto Yemen's ports, airports and fuel storage facilities, endangering humanitarian access to the country. The Stockholm Agreement was initially motivated by the need to protect these exact sites, and now the Houthis have squandered half a decade of diplomacy by opening a new military front against a distant enemy. The current exchange of fire between the Houthis and Israel will surely worsen in the coming weeks and months, but the Houthis can still choose to end this cycle. The final dimension of the Houthi threat is global.